What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video where today we're answering the question, is this finally Zoroark's time to shine? This list was used to win the Malaysia Town League by Kian Shang, and let's take a look at some of these interesting choices in this deck list. So first of all, one of the newest cards that this deck is really able to benefit from is Serena. Since you can selectively discard cards from your hand to use this as a draw supporter, you can actually discard some of your stage 1 attackers, and of course it doubles as that gust. It also fuels the attack of this Braixen with that Flare Parade, doing 60 damage for each Serena in your discard pile. So these two cards synergize really well together, but also with the discarding cards that benefits the Zoroark. Some of the other attackers include the Mightyena with that Hustle Bark ability, allowing you to attack for free if your opponent has a VMAX in play, and Wild Tackle doing 160 damage and 50 damage of recoil, but with that dark typing. Other attackers include the Appletun with that Thick Mucus attack, doing 70 damage for each special energy card attached to your opponent's Pokemon, really going to be useful against Lugia. You also have the Flapple with that Acidic Mucus attack, doing 50 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has an ability. We also have the Kleavor with that Route attack for double turbo, or two colors energy, doing 30 damage plus 10 more for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. It's also a fighting type attacker, so this is going to be really good against fighting weak Pokemon. We also have the Raichu with this Ambushing Spark attack. If your opponent has used their V-Star power, this game's attack does 100 more damage. Now this is also going to be very strong against Lugia, since they want to use their Summoning Star V power very early in the game. You should be able to just cleanly one-shot them as long as they don't have a Dunsparce in play. Speaking of Dunsparce, if you need to get rid of a pesky Dunsparce, we have this Beheeyem with that Psychic Arrow attack, does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and you actually apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon, but this will actually be used to take out things like Sobble and take out that aforementioned Dunsparce as well. And we have the Slowbro from the Pokemon Go set with that Twilight Inspiration, and you can only use this attack if your opponent has exactly 1 prize remaining and you take 2 prize cards. This is also a Cinccino engine. We do play the 4-3 in this deck, but with that Make Do, you're able to discard some of your stage 1 attackers to be fueled into the Zoroark's Phantom Transformation and just keep drawing through the deck. And then we have, looking at the trainers, just the 4 Evolution Incense, 4 Level Ball, 2 Ordinary Rod, 1 Rescue Carrier, 2 Scoop Up Net. You have 1 copy of Primordial Altar, so this lets you look at the top card of your deck and you can choose to discard it if you'd like. This actually synergizes pretty well with Oranguru, since you can discard some of your attacking Pokemon, or you can just thin out dead cards and keep getting Pokemon into this card pile to fuel your engine. Play 2 Marnie, 3 Research, and then, as I mentioned previously, the 4 copies of Serena, which is really, really great in this deck. 2 Choice Belt to boost up our damage, and then the energy count is fairly straightforward with 4 Twin Energy, 2 Double Turbos, and those 3 Capture Energies. So that's the list. Let's get into some games. Getting into a game now with Zorobox. Really excited to see what this deck can do. And we start with a mulligan. Definitely don't want to be giving our opponent information of what we're playing and give them extra cards to start the game, but we'll see what we can get going on our first turn here. And we'll take that mulligan. And looking to get our board established with some Minccinos. We do have a Minccino start, and we can even go for Call for Family on our second turn if this Minccino sticks around that long. And we'll see what we're up against. It takes that mulligan. And we're up against Blissey Miltank. So we do actually hit 4 weakness. This actually should be a pretty solid matchup for us as long as we're able to get our board established. We did prize 2 Minccinos, so that's a little bit scary. And quickly gonna take a look through our prizes here. Okay, we do have 1 Serena prize, but I think I want to get this second Minccino down. And we're just going to pass the turn. I could use that Primordial Altar and look at the top card, discard it if I want to, but I think I want to hold off on it. We only have the 1 stadium, and I just want to make sure I have a counter stadium, and that also helps our opponent going into their turn as well, since they are potentially able to discard energy to accelerate onto their Blissey. I do get the Capture Energy, which is better than getting a powerful colorless, because they could have actually taken the KO with a powerful. So I was a little bit nervous they could do that, which is why I went for the second Minccino. And they get the research after getting Greninja off that Capture Energy. Was that Crushing Hammer? Oh my god, Crushing Hammer, Roseanne's backup. Some scary things in here. They do grab the Dunsparce. We can take that out with the Beheeyem at some point. And they don't put it down though. And they do whiff the KO, which is big for us. And they don't actually accelerate any energy, which is also great. We can throw down this altar. I'm actually going to attach to the active so I can use Call for Family to end this turn if I'd like to. I'm actually going to use the Serena here. I want to discard these 3 cards. And I actually want to keep, there's a lot of supporters in that hand, so I kind of want to preserve some of those resources if I can. We do get into a Cinccino here, so we'll discard the Appletun, I think I'd rather get rid of here. Go into a Zoroark and nothing else really. Can use this altar. I think I want to keep that around. We're going to shuffle the deck anyway with this Call for Family. And we'll just go in with that Call for Family. Grab 2 Zoruas, throw those down. And we're getting set up a little bit slower than I'd like, obviously, but still getting set up. That Call for Family being a really useful attack and helping get our board established. And at some point we can just go into the fighting attacker, that Kleavor, start hitting them for weakness. They chose not to put the Dunsparce down, but we obviously are not going to be doing enough damage to take the KO on them. So we'll see if we can actually get through a Blissey, since they can obviously heal off any damage we do. We'll see if we're able to get through one. And we'll put up the Zorua. And we get an Evolution Incense, so we will evolve the active. I'm going to use this Evolution Incense, and I think I might just thin out another, or this Beheeyem actually, get rid of that. And then we're just going to research this hand away. Want to just find some energy, want to get some more things going here. Evolve into this Zoroark. And we can Cinccino away the Mightyena. At some point we can also Cinccino away another Cinccino, and then Zoroark into that if we need to get some more draw going. I'd love to use this Capture Energy, but I think I want to actually save that. And I'm just going to go grab another Zorua here, get more of our bench established, and then we'll use this altar. Yes, I want to keep that card around. Random transformation into the Kleavor. And at some point we could, I'm actually kind of wanting to bait them into attaching more energy. So we can take the KO at some point with the Appletun, since it does more damage for each special energy attached. So they're going to have to do more damage, attach more energy to deal with this Kleavor, since it has 140 HP. I kind of want to bait them into using that, building up their Blissful Blast to take this KO. I think I will attach this Choice Belt as well, just make it that much harder for them to heal off all this damage, and then we hit for 200. Put a lot of pressure on them, again, force them to heal off this damage or attach more energy, and we're at least threatening to 2-shot them, which is pretty strong. They do get this Sharon's Care. You can go into maybe the Miltank this turn if they want to, and it seems like they're favoring going that route. Hoping that they bench some more Pokemon. They just attach the Powerful, and they're going in with the Concealed cards, so if our opponent wants to just kind of play this without benching too many Pokemon, it's a little bit annoying for us, but I mean, if we're just trading one prizers back and forth, I think at some point, obviously, we can go into that Slowbro, so we should actually be favored in the long run. And they just pass back to us. We knew we were top decking that Choice Belt, so not the best card to see there. I think I'll start with Make Do on this Cinccino. Get a Serena and a Twin Energy. I think I'm just gonna hold this hand even. I don't really want to put any more Pokemon in play. I could put this Capture Energy down on something like that Cinccino to give myself a free retreat option, but if I don't bench any more Pokemon, they actually can't take a KO with Route, even with another powerful energy. And again, if they want to just play this one prizer trade, I think we're going to actually be favored in the long run. Escape Rope. I'm gonna put up this Zoroark. I don't think there's any way for them to take the KO on that. And we have the Scoop Up Net in hand. We could go into the Beheeyem if we want to on the following turn as well. We could Twin Energy and KO this Miltank on the bench. I think it would actually be 10 short on that one, but we could still put out some pressure that way. And again, if our opponent's just going to sit here and do nothing, which it seems like their choice is, at some point we're just going to get through our deck here. So we'll start with the Make Do on Manaphy. Get another Zoroark, that's great. And I think we're just going to go in with this Beheeyem here. Transform into that, use the Twin Energy, and we're just going to start swinging on the bench. Just sit here, and if our opponent wants to do nothing, we'll also just do nothing. But put out a little bit more pressure with things like the Psychic Arrow. They can't put down a Dunsparce since we can just take that out immediately. And if they ever put down a Blissey, we can go in with the Scoop Up Net Serena play if we want to, and put some more pressure on that. They do discard it, so I'm thinking that they're probably not trying to put down Blissey if they can avoid it. And they can take the KO on our Beheeyem here, or they can just Hyper Potion. So again, we're just going to kind of sit here and just keep poking them. And if they want to play all their energies, I forgot they played the Crushing Hammer though. This could be a little bit dangerous. And we do dodge that, fortunately, so a little bit lucky on that one for sure. I'm going to make do away this Level Ball. I don't actually have any other targets in the deck that I'd want to draw with that Level Ball. Can use this Incense, get the Raichu out. I guess we did have a Zorua. We can go ahead and Ultra Ball for that though. And get rid of the Raichu. And I think I want to get rid of this Cinccino as well. I do have the Cinccino's prize, so it's a little bit difficult to get those. But I actually don't want to bench the Zorua because then they can't take a KO with the route. Actually, I'm going to bench this Zorua. And then we will Psychic Arrow to the Miltank again. 60 on that. So we're still short of taking a KO with Psychic Arrow, but if they want to just sit here and heal and heal and heal with their Miltanks, eventually we're going to put too much pressure on them. They do put down the Dunsparce, so that's a free prize for us if they don't get another cape. They are down 3 capes, and I think that was their 4th that they just discarded, so not sure why they discarded that. Could have put it on this Dunsparce to prevent it from getting KO'd. And we want to be careful that we're not decking out ourselves at some point, so I'm just going to go in and take this KO with Psychic Arrow. Start getting some prize cards, hopefully maybe like a Minccino or something. We do get the Minccino. Don't necessarily need to be drawing cards too much as we continue to move along, but again, our opponent needs to start doing something more because we can obviously go in with the Slowbro at some point later in the game, so they're going to have to hold out and go in with a big Blissey at some point, you have to imagine. Do hit us with an Avery here, which is a little bit annoying. I think I will just get rid of this Cinccino at this point, honestly. I don't really need it. We don't really have much else that we're worried about finding. All of our cards are already in play at this point, to be completely honest. They do get heads on that Crushing Hammer. We'll get rid of the Twin Energy, but we do still have the energy in hand to replace that. We can also Scoop Up Net this away, and I'm going to rebench this Minccino, Scoop Up Net the Beheeyem, and go into the Kleavor. And we're just going to go in with the route. Again, not picking up the KO here since they aren't benching enough Pokemon, but we have the Beheeyem back in our hand. We do play 2 Ordinary Rods, so we can get those Cinccinos back into the deck at some point. And just hoping that our opponent doesn't get enough Crushing Hammers to run us out of energy. They are down 3, however, so I'm feeling okay about that. At some point, definitely going to want to go into that Slowbro so that we can close out the game that way. And I'm holding onto this Evolution Incense so that when we get an Ordinary Rod, we can go get the Cinccino back. And they're going to go in with the boss. We'll see what they target here. Go into the Zoroark. A little bit annoying. I definitely wanted to keep this around if I could. Get another Evolution Incense off the top. And we're just going to go in with the Phantom Transformation. We can actually go into the Appletun here. Clean up this KO this way. And we can use a Capture Energy, which saves some of our better energies that we want to put somewhere else. Evolution Incense to get this Zoroark back. And we'll go ahead and pick up the KO with Thick Mucus. Take another prize, and now we're out to the prize lead. We still have our Kleavor on the bench just sitting there. And at some point we can also go back into this Appletun if our opponent ever overextends with a Blissey at some point. But again, it seems like they're choosing to not go in with the Blissies, which perfectly fine by me. I think we will just out-trade them eventually. They do Marnie us, though. Hoping we get some good draws off of here. Still have a lot of good cards in our deck, being those Ordinary Rods. And hopefully we can find ways to get into the Cinccino. But they don't even pick up a KO with Route here. Rescue Carrier. Get back a Cinccino and a Zorua. Evolve into the Cinccino. Bench the Zorua here. And I'm going to actually Cinccino away this Research. Definitely don't see myself playing that. Kind of want to just hold the rest of the cards in our hand here. And we're just going to go in with the Thick Mucus, pick up this KO, and go ahead even further on our opponent. Like I said, they're going to kind of have to shift their strategy into going in with the Blissey at some point, you have to imagine. And there it is, the Blissey hits the board. This with another Avery, which is super annoying. I think we'll just discard the Zorua at this point. We can go get it back with the Level Ball Ordinary Rod combination. We do get Scoop Up Net into the Appletun, so they can put out some pressure here. And they'll take the KO with Blissful Blast. But we can actually go back in, and if they accelerate the energy onto the Blissey, we can come back in and hit with the Appletun for a lot more damage this time. We'll actually take the KO. Since they do have 4 on there, we'll do 280. And we top deck the energy as well, which is great. Ordinary Rod back. A Zoroark line. Level Ball for a Zorua. Go in with the Phantom Transformation. Go back into the Appletun. Attach the Twin. And I think we're going to Marnie our opponent this time, just to disrupt them a little bit and get ourselves closer to an energy for the following turn. But I think we're just pretty much ready to close out this game. Taking the last prize card may be a little bit annoying if they don't put anything else down. So we'll take the KO with Thick Mucus. 280 with that attack, taking 2 prize cards. And you can see just how powerful and quickly that 70 damage for each special energy just stacks up and continues to ramp up. They get a Capture Energy down. Fail that. They do put another Blissey down. We don't currently win the game since our deck is a little bit more reactive, so we need them to put energy in play, but they do just concede. Zoroark has so many tools to draw from in this current format, and it's really hard for your opponents to play around every different strategy, every different Pokemon that you could throw at them out of nowhere with this Zoroark deck, and your opponent really has to respect every single stage 1 that could possibly be in your deck. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. We did just recently hit 100 subscribers, so I'm super excited and appreciative for that. And I will catch you all in the next video.